Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I wanted to talk about anxiety. Specifically how I deal with anxiety and how I've dealt with it in the past. So without further ado, let's get into it. When I came out of the hospital my last episode, I had a lot of anxiety. A lot of it was surrounded by me just having the urge to want to be successful and knowing that I would be successful, just knowing how to get there, and I wanted to get there immediately. So I don't know how that correlates, but I think that's what it stemmed from. I was fixated on my weight, as you know from previous videos, and my anxiety was just really bad. I would take anxiety medication for a job. Well, for most of my jobs after the hospital, pretty much all, I had anxiety. So basically, my first job at the hospital was a cashier at a supermarket, and this supermarket just happened to be one of the busiest supermarkets in the neighborhood. Okay, um, I would take anxiety meds on my way to work or before I leave the house, and it would work. It would work, but I would still show like timid and like closed off, and I got anxiety, especially from the fact that every 5 minutes or so, I had to deal with new personalities. I had to deal with new customers every 5 minutes, just coming and coming and coming and coming and coming. And so I guess going from person to person, it was just a lot for me. Also, the work environment wasn't the best. I was around a lot of Hispanic people, but it wasn't just your typical Hispanic people. They talk Spanish like it was a club. And every time I went, I don't speak Spanish, so I instantly felt left out. And also, a couple of the older women did not like me because I didn't like that job, and I showed it. Some of them had been there for years, like 10 years, 20 years, and I couldn't really find anyone that I liked there. I didn't really have any friends. I would try to make friends, but I was 22, 23, and a lot of the people that were there were either way older than me or they were younger than me in like high school, 17. Um, so yeah, that was that. I ended up leaving that job because I just didn't like how I was being treated as an employee, to be honest. Would not recommend that job at all. Being a cashier is very hard, especially when you're in a supermarket that has a bunch of different codes and things that you have to follow, protocols that you have to follow. So that was that. That was that job. After that job, I went to a waxing job. I was waxing, doing a lot of Brazilians. That job, they trained me for four days, and then I had to go back because I wasn't getting it for another 2 days, I think. And I still got complaints. I got complaints like nobody's business. The thing with that job is just like, yo, you're providing a service, so it just didn't. I didn't like it. You're providing a service. People want all of their hair gone. Sometimes all of their hair doesn't come up. You're going into the session thinking, oh my God, I hope all of the hair comes off. Then you're expected to socialize with the customers as you're doing their wax. I got used to it after a while, but I still hated it. And in addition to that, you're also expected to sell products. So, yeah, all of that in combination, I didn't really like. I also did not like how the environment was. Once again, it was a lot of females, a lot of drama. Not my thing. And you also couldn't call out. If you wanted to call out, you needed someone to take over your shift, and that part is annoying. And also, they have like blackout holidays, like Valentine's Day. I wanted to be my man, and it was like, no, it's a blackout holiday. You cannot take off. So I left that job. Um, the next job I had was a tax office job. I've worked in the tax office before. Normally, the tax office I work in is like in the Bronx or in Harlem. Those are the two places that I worked. Ghetto, very ghetto, very very ghetto, and so that also brought me anxiety because it was just so ghetto. Um, but um, over the course of each job, I've gotten better. That I will say, I've gotten a lot better at my anxiety, and I'm here to show you how I did that. So for one, my supermarket job, I rely um, mostly on pills. I would take these pills all the time, and that's basically what I did every single time. But eventually, my psychiatrist was like, "Oh, those anxiety pills are not healthy for you over time. It can cause dementia." So I was like, "Okay, cool." The next, so I eventually weaned off of the pills, and I just told myself like, it's okay, you got this. And a lot of it was pep talking to myself, a lot. When I did the waxing job, before I would do a service, I would tell myself, "You got this." I would tell myself, "You got this," and I would continue to go about the service. Something that helped me with that was socializing. It really did help. It helped to make it less awkward. Um, but I didn't like it. And then the tax office job, I was already familiar with doing taxes because I did taxes in 2022. So that was cool. I was still quiet though. Still quiet. I'm a quiet person, but the anxiety kind of diminished over time. It diminished over the course of me telling myself that it's just not that serious to get worked up over. I also would tell myself that it's okay, you got it, of course. I would also tell myself that it's not that big of a deal. It's just not that serious. That was the key ones that I told myself. Um, and also, I would say having a social life. I met my boyfriend, so and we're both introverts. So having someone to talk to was helpful. Having someone that I can lean on was nice. I think that sometimes you just have to go out there, and have some more tiny conversations, slowly introduce yourself to socializing, and you'll be okay. I think that my anxiety wore off mostly. I still have it, but mostly wore off over time. And just telling myself that, like, it's okay. Pep talking myself, loving myself was a big part of it. Um, yeah, therapy was a big part. Just talking myself through it and identifying what was going on. Having hobbies helped because I was able to express myself. Um, so yeah, now I feel a little bit more confident talking to people. And also, if you look good, you feel good. So getting my hair done was big. Doing photo shoots, just living my day-to-day life. And I kind of just calmed down. I think anxiety is a lot of overworking yourself, and just knowing that someone's always watching you, kind of. I used to get anxiety from reading, and now I don't, not so much. It's at a point where I can actually, like, spit bars in front of my boyfriend. Like, the anxiety, like, I don't overthink as much either. And what also helps with the overthinking is knowing that everyone doesn't care. You could wear whatever you want outside. No, the person that's gonna see you and might think, "Oh my God, that's a crazy outfit." They're not gonna know your name. They're not gonna remember you 30 minutes from now. It's not that serious. Everyone's trying to make it. Everyone's trying to do what they're trying to do. So they're not so focused on you, if that makes sense. And loving yourself is a big part because it's like, damn, when you're not so hard on yourself, you start to love yourself and you start to be more confident. I think anxiety has a lot to do with, how do I put this? Just talking down on yourself a little bit, or just having like those panic attacks, and it's just like, just breathe. Another thing that helped me with breathing, journaling, therapy, like I said. And there was one more thing that I just thought about. Journaling. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah. I don't know. But yeah. That helped me. So my advice to you, if you're having anxiety, is to breathe. Breathe. Take deep breaths. Breathe. Know that it's just not worth you getting worked up over. Nervousness is gonna come naturally. That's also part of anxiety. But you have to be able to decipher what it is that is going on in your body and what is making you feel how you feel, and having the tools to take care of it and cope. So that's my video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.